Deuteronomy 28 verse 68, and Yahweh shall bring you into Mitzrayim, Egypt again with ships. And the way of which I said to you, you shall see it no more again. And there you shall be sold to your enemies for slaves and female slaves, and no man shall buy you. And that is what happened to the regal class of the house of Judah. And I want to give you a brief history. I won't go into it too much, but I can't just make that statement because there'll be people that'll push back. But I want to give you a brief history on slavery. I was just amazed, I got to tell you. I mean, when you come to America and you talk to people about slavery, you can talk to black people about slavery, white people about slavery, and they'll give you all this history on slavery, and it only goes back to the 16th and the 17th century. And you're like, don't they teach you the history of slavery? Why? Ask the bloody question. Why are they only teaching you the history of slavery as far back as the 16th and the 17th century? Why are they only going that far back? Because they don't want you to go farther back than that, because then you'll actually find out the truth. But from the 16th and 17th century, we'll teach you about slavery. You've got to go further back, and you've got to understand and question, why do they do this throughout the whole of America, in all the public schools? Why do they only go back as far as the 16th and the 17th century to talk about slavery? We've got to go further back than that. Because Islam designed infernal slavery. And then the Ashkenazi Khazars, those who say they are Jews and are not, are the ones that marketed it. And the regal Negro nomads, exiled from the kingdom of Judah, were the main recipients of it at the hands of the indigenous black Africans. Because you've got to understand, the regal class of the house of Judah came down from Israel, and they came into the land of the black Africans. And the black Africans resented the regal class of the house of Judah in their land, because they had laws, they had customs, they had civility. And they were a regal class of Negro that came down into Africa. And later on, it was the Ashkenazi, the Islamic slave traders as well, that then worked together with the indigenous black Africans to enslave the regal house of Judah. This is what we've got to understand, but you've got to go back before the 16th century to understand the roots of it. So we're going to see, as we dig into this, where this slavery came from, because it was really a system that was very, very well crafted. There was Islamic masters, and there were white Ashkenazi Khazar ship owners. They were the buyers and the sellers. And they're not going to fill you in on all of this, but really you've got a four-tier system. Number one, you have the Negro nomads that were exiled from the kingdom of Judah. Number two, you had indigenous black African hunters that resented the regal Negro nomads that had come into their territory with their own customs, with their own laws that were different and would not assimilate into their tribal culture. They were their own tribe. They were the regal house of Judah. And number three, you had Islamic trappers that worked with the indigenous black Africans to trap the regal Negro house of Judah. And then you had them sell them to the Ashkenazi ship merchants, along with many Portuguese and British Ashkenazi.
Oh, it is a blessing to know. What did you say to me? You said you read Deuteronomy 28 and you said what?
I read the whole Bible. I started when I was 5 because my mama was either going to make me sit there and listen to her read it for an hour a day, taught her to let me read it for myself. It took a while. I was a kid, the King James Version. I prayed for understanding, and maybe because I was a child and I really meant it, I was able to get it. Because I started reading, and everything I was reading was not lining up with what they teach you on Sunday. And I kept reading, it kept being different. And I was a kid, so I thought maybe I was reading something wrong or I didn't have some understanding. It took me a while for me to realize it wasn't about me being right or wrong. It's the Word is right. And what the Word says is completely different from what they're going to teach you. I'm not going to teach you what's in that book. Got to read it. I was 5, started. By the time I was 8, I made it to Deuteronomy 28. At the end of Deuteronomy 28, I remember it clearly. I read it, I looked up and I said, wow, really? Wow, this is awesome. I was like, I know the only people that fit what's in this book of who it says that the true house of Israel is, the lost tribes of Israel. They're lost. They say they're scattered. We don't know who they are. I know who they are. It's clear. It's you guys.
What do you mean by you guys?
The folks that were sent through the transatlantic slave trade. The folks that are still in the lands of their captivity. Israel is in the lands of their captivity. There is no creation of the so-called Jewish state of Israel in 1948. That does not fit prophecy. There's people over there that call themselves Jews. They call their own selves Ashkenazi. If you go look at Genesis chapter 10, 1 through 5, it tells you Ashkenaz is descended from Japheth, Noah's son Japheth, not Shem. That means he's a Gentile. I'm a Gentile. We're Gentiles. And I mean, I wasn't brainwashed. I got the Bible before they do the brainwashing of the programming. They try to make you think Egypt is white, which is ridiculous because it's Africa. So, all that's Africa. So, I'm thinking clearly because I'm reading, I know what's going on, And I was a weird kid. I thought a lot. I thought about things. And, my mom, she was really cool because she never taught me no kind of hate. She taught me to respect.
So what you say about the 1/3?
Okay. That Bible that's told me the truth about the fake Jews, Revelation 2:9, Revelation 3:9, they run everything. I got to throw this in there. They run everything. The media, the entertainment industry, the banking, the world, pretty much. All the wars we fight is because they tell us to go kick ass. That's what America is. We are the Satan's military arm. And why I say Satan, Revelation 2:9, Revelation 3:9. I know those who say they are Jews, but do lie and are of the synagogue of Satan. We done read they Ashkenazi, they Japheth. I mean, it's clear.
So what you say that about the 1/3 ruling the earth?
Okay, well, here's how I know that that's true. 1/3, because that's true, so the rest of it's true. You guys' story's in there, and it's all true. Lines up perfectly. It's the only thing that makes any kind of sense. 1/3 of all nations will be left at the very, very end.
You said
and
of
1/3,
Israel, right?
1/3 of Israel. You guys are going to be on top, y'all.
Let's keep switching the identity to hide the people. Why don't we just keep renaming you? Are you Negro? Oh, no, you're not Negro. No, you're colored. No, you're not colored. You're African American. And this is what they name you. The slavers name you this. Because I know a white guy who grew up in South Africa. And he now lives in America. He is an African American and more African American than most. Do you see how African American is a misnomer? It's a misnomer. Don't check that box. It's a title given to blacks by democratic slavery.
They did. If you stole my daddy in the jaw, don't get mad because he told on you. He telling on you that they. When I say they, I'm talking about the powers that be, the establishment, mainly Europeans. I'm not a racist preacher, but I'm telling on what they did. Now they got it. If you tell them what they did, they call you a racist. But telling the truth about what they did. If you stole my daddy in the jaw, don't get mad because he told on you. He telling on you. That's what you did. If you stole my daddy's daddy in the jaw, and I grew up and found out you stole my daddy's daddy, I'm gonna tell people that you stole my father in the jaw, daddy's daddy in the jaw. Now that don't make me wrong. It don't mean I'm drumming up the past. That just means I'm telling something we didn't know. Now the reason why I'm telling people that is because if I don't tell people you're a jaw stiller, then they may get stole too. So when I tell them what you've done, it's an indication of what you will do, especially if you haven't changed. Are you hearing what I'm saying? So just like a credit report, you got to see what you've done. That's not how they judge. They don't even know you. They just judge what's on paper, what your pay bill.